Hi, everybody. Welcome to the LeadSquared webinar. We're going to get started here in just a moment. Give a few more minutes for folks to join, and then we'll go ahead and get started with the presentation and the demo. Thank you again for joining. Okay, so to make the best use of everybody's time, we'll go ahead and jump in here and get started. Thanks again for joining the ACE End-to-End Sales Performance Suite webinar. We're really excited to have everybody here today, talk to you guys about ACE and the capabilities and how it can help your schools and your companies, and give you guys a live demo of the product. We really want you guys to be able to see firsthand what the product looks like, how it can help you, and how it works within LeadSquared. So before we get started, just a really quick introduction. My name's Andrew. I'm a senior solutions architect here with LeadSquared. I primarily work with education customers to implement their CRM. But previously, before coming to LeadSquared, I worked in the higher education space for about 9 years, working in a variety of positions, including campus and corporate operations, as well as implementations of software and change management for the organizations that I work for. So really excited here to be presenting with you guys today about how this solution can help your campuses. Before I go ahead and get started in the presentation, I also wanted to introduce to you guys Abhishek and Siddharth. They're our product team here with ACE. This is their baby. They've built it from the very beginning. They've been with the product since the start. So I'm really excited for them to just give you a quick introduction of themselves and give you a little bit of walkthrough of the journey of ACE, how it got started, where they see it going, and then we'll jump directly into the presentation. So Siddharth, welcome. Oh, you're muted, Siddharth.
So sorry, my bad. Hey, hi. Thanks, Andrew. Thank you for for the introduction, right? So I'll just take this forward, right? First of all, thank you everyone for joining yet another webinar of ACE. So just to give you a quick introduction of this new ACE up our sleeve. So ACE is a new addition to the existing LeadSquared platform. It's a brand new last mile efficiency tool that and we are developing it with an intention of improving teams' productivity, right? And it actually allows organizations to efficiently and seamlessly manage and track any kinds of goals and KPIs that they set for different for all of their reps, right? Just in order to define and execute specific action plans, right? So that's the key philosophy here, right? Now, just to give you a quick background of why we even thought of such a product and how was ACE conceived. So we at LeadSquared do a lot of R&D, and we actually realized that there's a lot of efforts that are actually going into the tedious process of manually monitoring teams' progress, right? So it was basically done through MS Excel sheets, or it was done through other manual methods, right? And that's how we thought that we can solve this problem within LeadSquared once and for all, right? And hence we came up with this new product solution ACE, which offers an intuitive and customizable platform for managers and team leaders to actually exploit and set goals, any kind of goals, right, across organizations. So that's the basic idea here, right? And the tool itself offers tons of advantages, right? It's centralized in nature. It is by default enabled for all the employees in an organization, right? And it is access controlled based on the designations and hierarchies, right? And that's how we offer different interfaces based on their specific needs, right? And managers themselves can plan and allocate and update the goals for any individual they want to, right? At any given point in time, and identify the areas of improvement for all and every individual, right? So with that quick background, right, I'll hand it over again to Andrew, right, who will just walk us through this entire webinar session. So over to you, Andrew.
Thank you, Siddharth. Appreciate that introduction. Let me go ahead and share the screen. Hopefully you guys can all see the presentation now. We're going to go through just a few slides here before we get into the live demo, which I know you guys are all really excited to see. So before we get into that, let's just give a quick overview of ACE, the Sales Performance Suite. So today in the webinar, what we're going to go through is we're going to talk about ACE, how ACE can improve sales efficiency with LeadSquared, and the business outcomes that you can expect from that. After that, we're going to get into the live demo. I'm going to show you guys how you can walk through, how you can create what we call rule sets, ultimately build those goals and assign them to your teams, and how that can be managed and help your business be more successful. So just really quickly, I know you guys are all very familiar with LeadSquared. Oh, yes, Abhishek.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, I see participants joining, and sorry to interrupt, Andrew, but just wanted to highlight that if you all have any questions, please feel free to either ask it on the chat or in the question sections of this particular webinar, right? And we are here to address your question right during the presentation. Yeah, thank you, Andrew. Please.
Wonderful, thank you. Yep, I should have said that. Please don't be shy with the questions. Siddharth and Abhishek will be in the background there answering any of those questions. We hope this can be as interactive and informative as possible. So thank you for bringing that up. So,
yes.
So as I was mentioning, you guys are all familiar with LeadSquared. There's a variety of different folks here today, most of which who all use LeadSquared today. And so you're familiar with the zero lead leakage, how we help you guys capture your leads, bring them into the system, automate the processes around your email campaigns, task creation, and how you can kind of make a more seamless flow within your organization or campus. We also have interaction, right? The smart view, so you can help admissions representatives and team manage their days, and Converse, tools like that, where you can have that direct back to forth chat with SMS. So where does ACE fit into this? Think of this as like that last mile delivery, right? ACE is going to sit within LeadSquared, and it's going to be a tool that utilizes your data that resides within LeadSquared so that you can manage the performance of your teams, so that you can create goals for how you manage your business and your campuses, and create those goals so that you have better insight both for yourself and for your teams themselves, because transparency is a really big part of what ACE is going to bring to your goals. So at a high level, think about ACE as helping you plan your business better, help you to remove manual efforts like physical Excel sheets that you're going to have to, manage and communicate to various teams, and the overall efficiency that can bring by speeding up those processes and increasing that transparency to your teams. We're obviously going to show you this and explain in greater depth how this is executed. So just really fast, when you think about the product suite, what we're going to be diving in here today is what we call goals and objectives. So think of this as how you set those goals, how you distribute them down to your teams, and how you help them reach their achievements and help monitor and manage those achievements. In the future, we'll be talking about different things like gamifying performance, nudges in coaching, insights and forecasting, and performance analytics. But like I mentioned, today we're going to be focusing here on goals and objectives. As you start thinking about those business outcomes that we talked about, as you're thinking about that improved efficiency, how are you tracking? How are you managing those Excel documents today? Or how are you tracking those goals today? Maybe you have great processes, but maybe they're really hard to manage. Or maybe you need more process and you're interested in how goals can help you do that. So that's improved efficiency is one of the core capabilities and expectations you can have when using the ACE suite. Planning those outcomes. One of the great things about the ACE product that we're going to show you is your ability to plan the outcomes, which by that, what I mean is you can create goals not only for now, but goals for the future as well. So when you're creating those goal cycles, you can plan them in advance, create your goals, get them on the docket, and then you don't have to release your goals every single week or every single month. You can plan that. We'll show you how to copy them over quickly and efficiently to minimize the amount of time you spend making those goals, and how you'll have visibility into that future, what hasn't started yet. And then I'm going to also show you guys how you can see the backward trajectory. So what goals did they already accomplish? How have they been doing in this goal as they go through their cycle? And most importantly, transparent communications as well, right? So when you're thinking about transparent communications, we're thinking of the dashboard that we're going to show you of how your team can see the goals that you've set for them, how they can see their progress every day without somebody having to share with them anything additional. And even if you needed to make updates to those goals, you could update those goals, and those are seamlessly updated to them, and you can communicate to them, and they can see those in the dashboard. So just really fast to talk about use cases. There might be some clients here today that are from other sectors, maybe the healthcare sector, insurance sector, but this demo is going to be focusing on education. So we're using those as the use cases, but please, it's certainly not limited to these use cases. So when you're thinking about your admissions team, when you're thinking about your lead funnel, you're really thinking of how goals can be used end to end. And so think of that from start to finish, right? You can set goals from when the leads come in, how many leads are coming in. Maybe it's a referral goal. How many referrals do you want your team to capture on a weekly basis? But then from those leads, how many interviews are being booked? How effective are they at doing the outbound dials that you've set for them as a goal? Out of the interviews that they've scheduled, how many have they completed? And ultimately, how many students have enrolled? So these are various use cases that you can look at for goals that you can set as a different goal. And we'll show you guys what that looks like in the tool. One of the really important things about LeadSquared and the way that the ACE product is set up is the hierarchy. So within your users management and profile, there's what we call a report to function. So any of you guys who are familiar with kind of that admin side where you're creating the users, in the details, there's an ability to add a report to. That report to is used to create what we call that hierarchy. And then I'll show you guys in the system, but there's that hierarchy is there with the drop downs. And so you can see how each set of employees is nested below their manager or the team that they report to. In this example, we're going to use today Ray Holt, who's a regional director of admissions. And underneath Ray Holt, there's going to be 4 different campuses. And underneath each campus is 4 different heads of admission. And underneath each head of admission is 4 different admissions reps. So that hierarchy is used to trickle those goals down throughout the team, but it rolls up, right? So Ray can then see as Doug is getting enrollments, as Jake's entire team is getting enrollments, as Terry's campus is getting enrollments, Ray can see that at an organizational level, how all those enrollments are filtering up. So really, in this example, there's a goal here, right, for the year. And then you can kind of determine, how do I break this down on a monthly basis for the campus? And then each filter down to there. So we're going to show you guys how that hierarchy works in the tool. It'll make a little bit more sense, but overall, think of that in terms of how the goals are trickling down through the system. One really important piece is that there's a piece called rule sets. And so think of rule sets as that advanced search filter that you use in your Manage Leads tab today, right? That advanced search filter allows you to pick the criteria of the lead you want to see, right? So similar in the goals, you're going to use that advanced search filter criteria in what we call a rule set. So those rule sets get built, and then that's picking things like what stage in the process am I looking at? I'm looking for enrolled leads. As you're picking that stage and you're defining those criteria, that's how we then automate and pick those goals that are going to be shown and pull in the data for those. Within the LeadSquared tool, only the administrators, you have to have the role of admin in order to create a rule set, but managers can create goals. So once that rule set is created, they create the rule set. The manager can now create the goals based on that rule set and then set the goal numbers and deliver those out to their team. In this example, you have Ray Holt, who's the regional director. He knows he wants to create a new enrollment goal for the whole company. So he's creating that enrollment goal by asking Gina to the administrator to make a rule set, and then getting those down to his team and assigning those goals, which is a process we'll show you how to do. On the other side, you have Amy. She's at one of the campuses. She's a campus president. Well, she also wants to make a goal, but she wants to make a goal that's not part of the overall corporate goal. It's specific to her campus. So she's also going to request Gina, the administrator, to make a rule set for that goal, create the goal so that she can assign those down to her team. So now's the really fun part. Now we get to actually show you the tool. I hope you guys are asking a lot of questions of Abhishek and Siddharth, and they're getting you guys answers over there. But we're going to actually show you the demo of the product. It's really what you guys have been waiting for, right? So this is what the dashboard looks like, right? So you can see here what we call cards. These are going to be the cards of each one of those goals that you've already created. In this example, I'm Ray Holt. I'm the regional director of admissions, or the regional director of operations. And I have already created these goals out to my teams. So you can see I've created a goal for interviews completed, and dialed calls and enrollments. Within that, you can see these progress bars. How much progress has been made to date on that goal? This goal is 93% of the goal with 6 days remaining. So we're really going to be close to hitting this goal. So we can go in here and also take a look at how is that goal being wrapped up and achieved. So you can see here are the different teams. These are your campus presidents: Amy, Charles, Rosa, and Terry. When you look in here, you can click Terry, and you can get a breakdown of Terry's team within that. So if you're managing your campus or your operation or your region, you can now drill down and see exactly how each each person on that team is participating and contributing to that goal. Let's go ahead and go back here really fast. And you can see the achievements to date from each team manager. And you can see how they roll up here to the top goal. How many users are part of that from a manager perspective, and how many days are remaining. One of the really cool things here, though, is there's these cycles, right? So if you set 52 different cycles for a weekly goal, all those 52 cycles will be seen here. And as you move forward in the goals, you'll be able to look backwards to see how did we do on previous cycles of the goal? How are we doing right now in the active goals? And what goal cycles do we have left to come? Go ahead and go back here. So one of the things you can also look at here is this goal status. You can see in progress, what is yet to start in the cycle, and what's already been completed in terms of goal cycles, like the entire cycle of the goal has been completed. Another great feature is like if you're an admin, you can see here, I'm Ray Holt, but Amy would have her own view as well, right? So if Amy has set her goals for her team, this is where Amy would see the managed by me goals. But let's go back to Ray Holt. You can see here, there's three main navigations of this tab. You have rule sets, managed by me, and assigned to me. The managed by me is exactly what it says. It's these goals that I've created for my team. The assigned to me would be any goals that have been assigned to me by somebody else that I know that that I'm responsible for moving forward on. And then the rule sets are those combinations of criteria that are set to help drive the creation of those goals. Really quickly, one thing I want to do before I move on into creating the rule sets and goals is we're going to go over here to manage users. This is going to show you really quickly the hierarchy and how that's configured within the back end of the system. So you can see here, these are all your sales users. Up here in the top right under actions, there's this view user hierarchy. If you select view user hierarchy, you can see that exactly that hierarchy that we discussed, right? This is where you're going into the report to in their details of their profile. You're adding in their manager, Amy or Charles, and then you're assigning those report tos, and then they bundle up into this user hierarchy. So you can view that here. So you can see here, Charles has a assistant manager, and that assistant manager has employees down to them. So you can see how that nests down in this way. Also, just really quick, you can see here in the navigation bar, ACE would be nested up here at the top, just like your other tabs. You can go ahead and just click goals. And this is how you get into the ACE dashboard again. Okay, so now what we're going to do is go through how easy it is to create a rule set and assign goals to your staff. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a rule set called new referrals. We're going to create this rule set because we're going to be creating a goal. Oh, template available, not available. So let's try one. So you're going to use these rule sets ultimately to assign to your goals. One of the very first things it's going to ask you about is whether it's a non-sticky or a sticky goal. The easiest way to think about this is if it's a sticky goal, think of something that moves through the lead funnel, something with a stage, like you're looking to see, are they in an interviewed stage? Are they in an enrolled stage? If you're going to track metrics by the stage and they're going to move from one stage through the other within LeadSquared, you're going to want to use a sticky goal, right? So it's capturing that achievement at that point in time. If you're looking at something like maybe referrals where it's capturing based off a lead source that isn't going to change, or even a dialed call, you can go with a non-sticky goal because it's really just a time, it's capturing that, it's referencing that data, and that data is not going to change. So let's go ahead and make this a non-sticky role since we're going to be doing a referral goal here. The next thing you do is you have these three fields: entities, fields, and conditions. These are the basis for how you create the rule set. Within this, you can choose between a lead or an activity. An activity would generally be something like an outbound phone call, a dialed phone call, where in this case, we're going to go by a lead because what we're going to select ultimately here is a lead source. This is a lead created or lead updated. There's also the ability to add lists, but right now we're going to say lead created or updated. And then we're going to go ahead and select next. We now have the ability to select aggregation. What this means is this a count? Is this a sum, or is this a distinct count? In this case, this is going to be a regular count. We're going to come in here, and we're going to look for lead source. This is going to be the lead fields that we use to create this goal. We're now going to go into user identification. And what this means is who's the goal ultimately going to be assigned to in the rule set, or how are we drawing the data, which is the owner. And then we're going to select the data identification field, which is going to be the date that the lead is created on. It's going to give you a rule summary over here to the right, so you can kind of see the summary of everything that you've done so far in case anything needs to change. But even if something needs to change after the fact, it's very easy to go back and make those edits. So now we're going to look at conditions. So in order to get this data for the lead source, we're going to create a condition. This is where you get really familiar with that advanced search filter that I was telling you about that you use in your managed leads today. And we're going to go ahead and say that lead source, right? We're going to say the lead source is employee referral. So this is going to only look at any lead that's input in the system under that owner as an employee referral. So we're going to add that condition. Many times you might want to have more conditions, or maybe you don't need more conditions. But if you need more, that's okay. You can add the button. Let's say in this case, we want to create one more lead source that's available in this goal. We have multiple criteria for how a referral can be input. And we also have this customer referral. So we're going to add this condition as well. And then you can see the criteria pattern here at the bottom. It could be either 1 or 2 to add to the goal. So let's go ahead and save this rule. So it's going to give you another chance to take a look. Is it sticky? Did you remember to change it to sticky or not sticky? Did anything change while you were building that rule set? Or do you need to potentially add another set of rules on top of this goal? So in this case, we're going to go ahead and move forward, and we're going to publish that rule set. You can see now how easy it is to create that rule set based on the criteria you need to start building your goals. So now that we've created the rule set, we can go back here. We can go back to the Manage Me tab, and we can begin creating the goal that we talked about. So we're going to be Ray Holt in this example. He's going to create that new referrals 2 goal. He's going to very first select a rulebook. You might already have rulebooks existing from other ones, so you don't always have to create a rulebook fresh every time when you create a goal. But in this case, we're going to use that brand new rulebook that we just set. So you can see any of the rulebooks that have already been created. You can select from them. In this case, we're going to use that new referrals 2. It's going to showcase you that criteria once more, so you can see that and review it. And you're going to say, I'm going to use this rulebook. So a really critical part of this is the cycles, right? This is one of the things that makes using this feature really great, is you can select, do I want this to be a daily goal, a weekly goal, a monthly goal, and so on and so forth. So for this one, we're going to say this is a weekly referral goal. We're going to go ahead, and then we then select, when do I want this goal to start? For the purposes of ours, we're going to say this goal is going to start at the very end of the month. That way we have time to communicate the goals to our team, set the expectations, talk about strategies and planning, and then get it started. We're then going to set the last cycle of the goal. For this set of goals, we're going to say that's at the end of September. So we're going to select that last week of September. You can see based on those selections, we've got 14 cycles here selected. So great. Let's go here and save it and go to the next. So now we're at the part where we distribute the goals. How are these goals being distributed down? And what is Ray's vision of how many, or what's the expectation of how many referrals each campus is going to get? So we're going to select the campus presidents. We're going to not select Ray because Ray's not going to have a part of the goal. And he knows he wants to get 100 referrals a week total. So he's going to go ahead and say, I'm going to assign 25 to each person. Right. But we know we created 14 different cycles. And you can see here the summary of those cycles, right? So you don't edit it from here. You put them in here, and then it's going to add up the cycle value here. But we know that there's all these different cycles. In order to make it easier for you guys, there's this ability to copy and distribute to other cycles. So obviously this works if the goals are the same across all the periods. So this referral goal, as an example, is going to be consistent across all the weeks of the campaign. So we can easily click copy. We can either select specific times that we want to assign it to, or we can select everything. So we're going to select everything, and we're going to distribute those goals to the selected cycles. So we now have those goals assigned to every cycle here. But after I did that, I forgot. Next week is the week after the start of this is the July 4th holiday. That's going to be a shorter business week. So we need to account for that in the goals. So we're going to go ahead and go over here. We see the July 5th week, and we're going to update the goals to 20 per person just for this 1 week. So great. We've now completed inputting all of our cycle values for our various goals. Just one quick note. You also have the ability to import user goals. So if you have an Excel spreadsheet that has all your data within it, this is the process in which you can use to import that data seamlessly, assign it directly to those goals so that you don't have to manually update all of these values. But let's go ahead and publish this goal. So you'll notice the goal didn't pop up here, but that's because the goal hasn't started yet. So we're going to go to the yet to start. And now we can see that new referrals tool goal. The first cycle starts in 19 days. So we're going to go ahead and click that and take a look. And we can see what we've set as that goal. So this is that planning aspect, right? Getting ahead of it, knowing what you're going to want for the next month, what you're going to want for the next cycle, planning that, distributing it out and getting it to your team and setting those expectations early and being able to see that full cycle before it starts. One really quick thing, I want to show you how easy it is to also update a goal. So if you click into a goal, we understand that progress changes, right? And maybe depending on how much time's left in the goal, maybe those goals change. Maybe you realized you set too many dialed calls on a daily basis. Maybe you didn't set enough. So maybe you need to come in and update those goals. That's no problem. You can simply come in here to the edit. You can save it in next and go to distribute the goals. And you can easily update this goal. Let's say for this case, want to update it to 70 to mirror the other campus. We're just going to update that goal. And now that goal is going to go ahead and be updated to Amy. So when Amy logs back in, she's going to see her new goal that's updated here within the tool. So you can see how seamless it is to go from creating a rule set to creating those goals and assigning them to your team. And the only other thing you want to think about is that once you then assign those goals to like Amy would create similar goals for her team, right? Because she needs to distribute those goals down to her 4 admissions heads. So she's then going to say, if my goal is 100, how am I going to now divvy that goal up to them? And then they're going to be able to divvy up their portion of their goal to their admissions team that they're managing. So you can see how that goes down and it cycles down. But as they're completing those goals and you're seeing this progress, if you're Ray here and you're over the goal in total, you're just seeing the total progress that's happening. You're seeing how you're progressing towards your total goal of 80 and how each team is contributing to that. And Amy's going in and she's seeing how she's progressing towards her goal of 20 in this case and how her team's contributing to that as well. So you'll have that visibility if you're the manager into each kind of layer of the organization. And it will give you the ability to say, hey, I realize, Amy's contributed all 5. Andy and Fred haven't done any. Maybe I need to talk to Amy and see what's going on at the campus. Why are certain people performing so much better than others? Is there a training gap? Is there something that we need to talk about? So this is really just how you can use goals to manage that aspect. So this is really the fast demo. We didn't want to take a lot of time. We know that your guys' time is very precious. So we wanted to give you guys a really quick overview of what ACE is and how you can quickly create those rules and those goals. So please, I hope if you have any other questions, please ask them now so that Abhishek and Siddharth can continue to answer them. And I know that was pretty quick. We're just right at the 30-minute mark. But you've now seen the full cycle of goals. Great. Abhishek and Siddharth, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to basically the entire demo that Andrew you have given. I would like to show. We would like to show that in a quick intro video that we have. Can we please have the intro video that essentially demonstrate ACE in 1.5 or basically 90 seconds? Yeah, that should be coming here on your screens right in time.
Hey, Abhishek, I don't have that video.
No. Yeah, so that should be out. Also, Shibani would be playing that video. Yeah, sorry. That was amazing. Yeah, so that in a nutshell is the entire demo that Andrew gave. But yeah, uh, we would be more than happy to address any questions. You guys don't have to now ask the questions on the chat. We would be more than happy to address any questions uh, live right now. So please feel free to ask any questions that you might have.
Everybody's quiet.
Yeah, everybody seems to be quiet.
The demo just gave everybody all their answers. It's great.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think that should be a fair assumption, Andrew, right?
I'm just kidding.
But I mean, obviously, the answers or the questions does not stop with this particular webinar. We would be more than happy to have these discussions, address any of your questions one-on-one as well. Please feel free to reach out to your respective SPOCs, and we will be more than happy to give this demo to you again if needed to a broader audience inside your organization. And we will also be more than happy to configure this particular product inside your LeadSquared account as a trial version, and showcase to you in your workflow, right? So that essentially is the objective, right? And we could have very easily done this with a broader audience across US region, but we particularly chose to do this with specific vertical, which is education, right? Because what we believe is each demo makes it has to be very contextual, so that we can help our customers understand how it would actually benefit their workflow, right? So that is this is and that is the reason this is very particular to education vertical, and we would be more than happy to work with you and help you understand how this particular product will add more value to your sales team or to your admissions team, as a matter of fact, right? Yeah. Thank you, Kim. Thank you for that. Um Okay, great. So with that particular note, I think we are good as of now. Andrew, Siddharth, would you like to add any final thoughts before we call this a day?
I just want to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Hopefully, I'll be talking to some of you guys soon, and we'll be helping you guys get ACE implemented in your LeadSquared CRM.
Yes,
Definitely.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I think just one closing thought, right? I think the demo was pretty extensive and elaborative in nature, right? But still, if anyone has any questions, please reach out to your respective account managers, your POCs, right? And we'll be, as Abhishek mentioned, happy to do another demo, another session, right, with a wider audience with specific use cases, right? And yeah, thank you again for joining.
Thank you again. We hope to ace it with you all. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.